Today I'm going to tell you one of my stories, and I apologize in advance for the traffic noises and stuff, but as I was out rail panning today, I decided to tell you a story, and I didn't consider just how noisy the traffic was where I was sitting. I've done my best to edit out quite a bit of the car noises, and some of my story was even drowned out. Hello, my friends, this is Pwalpar. I'm known as Pwalpar to my viewers, and known as Walter by most of my friends. But whatever name you stick me with, I'm either one. Today, it's been a while since I told you one of my stories, and this area I'm stopped at, it's a warm afternoon here in Jenkinsburg, Georgia. So I'm parked under a shade tree, kind of watching the world go by. But this particular area here reminds me of one of my stories, and since I hadn't told one in a while, I think I'll tell it. I was a crew member on the Atlanta Derrick for Norfolk Southern. Well, actually, when I started with them, it was just Southern Railroad. Our derrick was a 250-ton industrial brown horse crane. Ran on the rails, had its own little train consist with tank cars and gondolas for hauling various blocks and wedges and cables and other equipment you need to clear up a train wreck. When we would go to a train wreck, we'd be the hottest train running on the railroad. I mean, they would shoot us out of Inman yards, north or south, whichever direction we were going, straight to the train wreck, non-stop. We had our own little coach car on there, had some lockers, bunk beds if we had a chance to get a rest. We'd carry clean clothes with us because often they would put us up in a motel where we could stay there at night once the main line got cleared up. I'm reminded of this one incident, train wreck comes to mind, probably 35 years ago. We had been up in South Carolina somewhere for a good week and a half. We had to run out of clean clothes. Now the work we do out there was hauling cables and all kind of dirty work, climbing amongst the wrecked cars, getting them picked up and put back on the tracks for hauling away, rolling away, or loading on. Oftentimes we'd load them on a flat car. We had been out a good week and a half, I guess. Finally got the train wreck cleared up. They started us home, but on the trip home, we ain't such a hot train. We were getting put in sidings and held in layovers. Sometimes it might take you a week to get home if they had a lot of trains backed up after the train wreck. It was around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 6, getting on towards dark anyway. We got to about an area somewhere around Beaufort, Georgia. We hadn't been fed in some time, couldn't get nobody to answer us on the radio. Oftentimes they would bring us food. They were supposed to bring us food anyway, but they had forgot about us, and we were hungry. Somebody the other day mentioned seeing a train crew stop at a cafe or something to get a sandwich, and that's what another thing that brings my story to mind. We were coming down this area similar to this area right here. The road ran parallel to the tracks. Looking off in the distance, we could see a KFC up there. For those who don't know, KFC is a fast food chain of restaurants that sells fried chicken here in the United States. Got on the radio and called the engineer and stopped this train up there at Kentucky Fried Chicken. So he stopped. And like I say, it was late in the afternoon, and that restaurant was packed with people. I mean, they were all, must have been 20 people in there standing all around the crowd waiting to get their orders filled. When they saw that derrick train stop in front and a bunch of dirty railroaders get off, I don't know what they thought, because we wasn't the cleanest looking people in it. We've been out there operating, cutting torches, hauling greasy cables and stuff. We can get pretty dirty. I don't know what they thought when we got off that train. There was a group of us, 5 or 6 people, come piling in that KFC. And it was like Moses parting the Red Sea. The crowd just kind of moved to the left and right and opened a path for us right down the middle of the crowd. And we proceeded right on up to the counter. They probably told them when they saw us coming, y'all move out of the way and let's get them out of here quick as we can. We placed our order, got our chicken, and went back out the door and climbed on the train and was underway. The moral of the story is, you can't judge a book by its cover. We were well paid for the work we did, but we weren't exactly wearing 9-to-5 office apparel. That's my story. Thanks for listening.